Hello, I want to share a story with you, my experience with my sidekick. I love my sidekick. I bring my sidekick everywhere I go. Until one day, Saturday, I was hit with this illness. I caught a cold and I needed soup. I needed all these things. But something happened with my sidekick. It wouldn't open. It was really sticky, so I used some type of glue. And the glue wasn't dry. I used this white glue, not the super glue. The glue that is easier to fix. But it didn't really work. So I tried. But I really needed some soup and some medicine. So I thought it would be okay if I went right around the corner. I thought it wouldn't hurt. Maybe 5 minutes. So how many of you have left your sidekick at home or left for a short minute and came back home? Was something really happen and it just out of nowhere and you needed to leave and go to the store? So I left my sidekick home and I went to the store really quickly and I grabbed my medicine and my soup for a short minute. I got back in my car and got ready to pull out into the intersection where there was a light. And I was just sitting there waiting for a green light. As I looked up in my rearview mirror and I saw this, I'm like, what? So I had my seatbelt on and this car who came up behind me was coming really fast. And you know the flower pot that was on the side? They went on the side and hit the flower pot. But luckily there was no other cars in the other intersection, and the light was still red. And the car went around and just zoomed off. And I was like, what? I was trying to catch the license plate number. It was like CC something, and it just left. And the police officer was right there. So I was trying to inform the police officer, wave them down, but they didn't notice me. And they were right there. They was right in this opposite intersection as me. There was a woman in front of me who stopped. There was a woman in front of me, so I hit my brake really hard. And this woman asked me, was I okay? And I was like, I'm fine. I was just so shocked. Everything happened so quickly. I felt like I was in a movie. So I called 911. But it was a cop right there, and I was trying to wave them down. So I didn't know what to do. I was so confused. So finally, an officer came up to my vehicle. But the car had already left at the same time. So I was curious who the driver was. So I rolled my window down. So the officer rolled his window down. No. The guy who was in the car rolled his window down, and he was an old man. He was like 90-some years old. And he looked as if he was guilty. So I didn't really feel good, so I had to take a seat in my car. And all of a sudden, I felt the illness beginning to start. So I wanted to leave, but I needed my sidekick, but I left it at home. But I really needed to go to the hospital to make sure that I was okay. From the damage that happened with my car being hit, I needed to go to the hospital. So they put me in a neck brace, and I couldn't really move. I had straps over my head, my arms, my chest, and they just wheeled me away to the hospital. And I waited for an hour. And I'm like, hey, come here. I'm stuck with this on. Can somebody help me? Someone give me some water, some medicine now. But I was trying to figure out how can I get in contact with my friends. So they asked me to have any phone numbers, but I don't use phone numbers. I only just send texts or emails or instant messages. So I informed them, do they have a BlackBerry or sidekick? So everybody was looking at me like they were confused. So they handed me a phone book and asked me, do you know your friend's last name? So I was looking through the phone book, but their names wasn't there. So what good is it if I can't find them? So it made it even harder. And they wasn't familiar with the TTY. So I informed them that I can use email. And they was like, email for what? My friend's going to respond faster. They said, oh, so now they're learning something. Oh, just to inform you, they didn't have an interpreter for me. So without an interpreter, it made time even longer. So I was trying to contact my friends so they can find an interpreter for me. So it would be easier for me to communicate. And that was more important, so I can get ready and go home. So I was able to send the email from the computer. And I got a response back immediately. So I was relieved. So oral communication, no sidekick, took hours. And I couldn't move. And I was sick. I didn't feel good at all. I will never in my life ever leave without my sidekick. I hope that lesson will help you all realize, do not do that.